it up from 1,200, then I feel like they must have sold a decent amount of them at 1,200, right?
Yeah, I mean, they had no problems selling 2080 Ti's at that price at all. And you never really saw that price go down a whole lot, even, you know, a year or two after the card launched. I am still kind of beside myself as to how big it is.
That's what she said. Sorry, I couldn't.
I think there is. I think there was something cool about even like the RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition and all the other high-end RTX Founders Edition cards being relatively slim, like just a straight-up two-slot design that could easily go inside of like an enthusiast small form factor case. Like I've got an RTX 2080 FE and inside of a Dan case A4 right now, and it's like, with room to spare, you know, for the power connectors and stuff. It's just kind of a bummer that we won't be able to do fun stuff like that with the FE cards when they launch. I'm guessing that we'll have to look to the board partners to really slim things down. Or not. Maybe for a 3090, that's as small as they get, regardless of whether it's from NVIDIA or an AIB. It's just going to be interesting to see how
it does seem to have a lot of cooling fins on it. I mean, they're certainly maximizing the area when it comes to what they're working with there. And they might be taking a cue from a lot of the RTX 2080 Ti designs that were like 2.5 or more than 2-slot designs.
Definitely.
Where there's 3-slot or a little bit less than that. So a lot of people were okay with that because they're probably working with full-size ATX cases or whatever, and they don't really, they're not really going to use that space otherwise. But like you said, small form factor applications are going to be, you know, they're still really popular, and I think a niche that a lot of people look to. 2-slot solutions are probably still going to be desirable, so we'll see if third-party vendors are able to design that, and if they're able, you know, if they have to make any compromises in terms of like clock speeds or whatever, that or overall board power, because it's not just the GPU being cooled, but it's the memory and everything else, and power delivery. There's still no, you know, we're still very much in the rumor speculation phase here, and we're hopefully going to hear more in about a week. But Video Cards speculates right now. Their money says that the RTX 3090, 3080, RTX 3080, no, the 3090, I'm sorry, will have a GA102 GPU with at least 5,248 CUDA cores and 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory. And what we're looking at right here is the Founders Edition, the RTX 3090 Founders Edition. So we'll see what happens next. Stay tuned.
I feel like NVIDIA is just like every generation. NVIDIA gets closer and closer to having their card sort of resemble like a board partner card.
Yeah.
You know, like first it was just like purely reference, and then they kind of got fancier with it with like the 10 series. It was still blower style, but looked a lot more edgy and more attractive. And they went with the FEs for the 2000 series, which were just full blown, like, you know, could have easily been an aftermarket card. And now it's like they're huge, and I mean, if the rumors are true, and it, you know, it's just seems like NVIDIA. I don't know. I wonder how board partners feel about it. You know, like if it's stealing any sales from them, or if it's NVIDIA's getting too competitive with their own partners. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them might be irritated in certain ways. I don't know. It's a good question. Good question.
I'm sure Gamers Access will do a video on it.
Hey.
We'll wait for them to drop the news.
Hey, it's a good segue.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it's not. Never mind.
Oh, damn it.
Wait.
Premature.
We're not talking about that yet. Sorry, Hero has come over. I'm giving him butt scratches and stuff. He's very happy about that. Oh, I guess that's another thing. Hero was having, like 2 weeks ago, Hero was having some issues. We're pretty sure it was like a spider bite he got on his foot. But he's doing better now. He's still got kind of a scab on his foot, but got really puffy for a bit. But it
crushed bones.
We got some meds for him and stuff.
Human bones.
Thanks. Asked about that too. All right, NVIDIA Founders Edition, yada yada. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Corsair is for sale. Who wants to buy Corsair? Everyone, pool your money, and if you have $100 million, you can buy all of Corsair's stock. Probably not. But Corsair has filed for a $100 million IPO, and they intend to trade their company on the NASDAQ under the symbol CRSR. Corsair. With Corsair. So here it is. Article's over on PCGamer.com, so you can check it out if you want to. It's amazing when you consider where Corsair came from. They were a simple memory manufacturer back in the day, and they've now expanded quite significantly. Not just memory, but wait, what else? What else do they make? Cases. They make cases, of course, cooling products, like all-in-one liquid coolers and stuff, power supplies, storage drives, keyboards, mice, streaming accessories now that they have acquired Elgato. Full-blown gaming PCs like the Corsair One. They do many different things. Corsair is one of those companies where you can often do a build, and it's like you can do a full-on Corsair build where like 90% of the parts are Corsair, and then you can also do a build that's completely not Corsair, but somehow still like I feel they'll get like one part in there. It's like, oh well, the memory is still Corsair, or the power supply is still Corsair, or something like that.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, so it's often difficult to do a Corsair-free build. I mean, not like difficult, but
wait, I want to talk.
They've got their fingers in a lot of pies. Pies is the word I'm looking for. And not only do they do all of those, they make all of those products, they also claim top U.S. market share position in almost all of those categories for all of the things that they make, which is a good position to be in, I suppose, if you're going to do an IPO. Yeah, they're listed.
So their stock's not available yet, correct?
No, I don't think there was a date in the article or anything like that.
Sorry, can't let you get away with this.
But,
do we know like how much the stock's going to be?
No, this is the part of the story that there are probably further details that could be assumed, but like I know some stuff about stocks in the stock market, but I don't really participate in it very much. So I don't know how they decide for a $100 million IPO how many actual shares. There's a lot of. An IPO is an initial public offering. For those of you who have no idea, I can at least say that. And in order to be a publicly traded company, you have to meet a bunch of standards, and you have to go through a bunch of like SOX compliance and stuff like that. So there is more oversight over the company, but then it allows you to be public. So you create shares for the company, you sell the shares, the company gets a big cash infusion, which Corsair is probably looking for right now because they have purchased, other than Elgato, already mentioned, they bought Origin PC and Scuff Gaming within the past few years. So according to the article, they got some loans in order to fund those acquisitions. The IPO will help pay them back. Last year, or in the past year, Corsair has had $1.3 billion in revenue, with $31.3 million in net profit. And it's also mentioned that they had previously considered going public back in 2012, but decided not to because of market conditions and stuff. There we go.
Cool.
Buy you some Corsair stock.
Dead.
I'd not recommend that, by the way. What? You're gonna buy some?
I'll buy it. I'll just buy a little bit. I need some fun money.
I know it's one of those like what's the word? Like principle-based things that isn't discussed very much. But I intentionally don't participate in stocks. Well, I mean, I don't really do much in the stock market in general, but I intentionally don't participate with any tech stocks. That's part of my thing. I should write that down somewhere so that people can be like, oh, look how honest Paul's being with his not buying stocks in the companies that he's reviewing products for and stuff like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, I would consider that a conflict of interest. Because if I owned Corsair stock, and Corsair did better, then I would make more money, and yada yada. There's lots of potential conflicts of interest in the YouTube space and reviewing and being an influencer and whatever else, but
But yeah. Makes sense.
Anyway, you were saying how much stock?
I'm definitely not going to buy any Corsair stock.
Oh, okay.
I've changed my mind. I've had a change of heart.
I thought you were about to divulge all the details of your personal portfolio and stuff.
It's not. It's very small.
Yes.
That's what she said.
I think I have a 401k.
You think you have a 401k?
Never mind.
Probably something you should know if you have or not.
That'll work itself out. All right, Kyle, you made a good segue earlier. I'm gonna pretend like you made that just now. That's a good
yes.
You mentioned.
What about Gamers Nexus?
Speaking of Gamers Nexus, apart from the fact that they're jerks and they're streaming live right now, on top of us, right? Gamers Nexus literally live streaming right now. Go watch their live stream instead of ours. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Fire.
Watch ours. Ours is fun. Anyway, Gamers Nexus, they've posted quite a few really good videos over the years. They posted one just yesterday, 2 days ago. No, I guess 3 days ago. It took off, did pretty well. It's got 500 views. And this is, I think, going to be kind of the updated standard for AIO mounting position. And Steve complains a lot at the beginning of the video about manufacturers with their product images showing GPUs radiators mounted. What just happened? I just jumped back in the video. What the heck's going on? I can't work YouTube right now.
Didn't stand a
these
chance.
Damn timestamps. That
Trails
all right. I was trying to make a good case for why people should be watching our live show and not Gamers Nexus.
Blood hasn't even dried.
Anyway, just showing Gamers Nexus footage.
I know, you're right. Okay, here's the point I'm trying to get at. It's a good video. It's linked in the description if you guys haven't watched it. After we're done with our live streams, maybe consider checking it out. I'm gonna try to do a TLDR here. But Steve's already also bitched a bunch about people trying to do TLDR. He didn't fully comprehend the video and everything like that. So that's something to be watched out for. Here's the main point, Kyle, and the upshot, especially for people like us who make YouTube videos about building computers and radiator positions. You're going to have a bunch of comments on any video you post right now or that you've posted recently saying like, hey, you put the tubes at the top of the radiator, that's wrong and you're stupid. Go watch the Gamers Nexus video. Because whereas the prevailing, I guess, thought process in the past has often been, if you are positioning a radiator at the front of a case vertically, so that the radiator is vertical, up and down, that if you put the tubes at the top, that will mean that any air bubbles that might be in the radiator will go to the top and be flushed out. That's actually not a good idea. Because where are those air bubbles flushed to? Well, they're flushed into the pump and block, right there. So, and that's not good. It's not good for the pump to be cycling air because the pumps that are used in AIOs, they're not meant to pump dry or anything. It also can cause the pump to have to work harder. So it's a bad idea. Steve and crew did a very fun little hack job on an AIO themselves. They cut pieces off of the radiator ends, and then they went and they attached some clear acrylic panels to them so that they could
looks like rain.
Have the radiator in different positions and actually see the air, see the liquid inside, and see whether there was air collecting in different areas, whether it's on the cold plate or the synthesized cold plate with the see-through piece on it, or whether it was on the radiator itself. So that's the upshot of the whole thing. If you're going to put a radiator vertically at the front of your case, you should put the tubes at the bottom.
Found your miners.
And they found that this is a cure for very common issues of radiator of AIOs making noise. Gurgling sounds can be common at the beginning, like when you first start up, and sometimes those can flush themselves out. But yeah, tubes at the bottom is going to help with potential noise, and it will also help. It will help with the longevity of the pump itself. Just make sure that if you've got a radiator and you've got a pump, like a pump block, that you don't position the pump block above the top of the radiator, because the side of the radiator that doesn't have tubes is actually meant to have some air collect there. So having that at the top allows the air to collect there, because guess what? There's air in the loop.